We bought a donor car that's broke. Copart forgot to mention that, didn't they? Bastards. Who fancies a crate of free beer? This video is sponsored by Beer 52. So the legends at Beer 52 are offering you a free case of 8 craft beers. Simply go to beer52.com/Lockwood, the link will be on the screen, and simply just cover the cost of the postage and you'll get sent one of these. Beer 52 is the biggest beer club in the world, and each month they send their members a new case of beers from a different part of the world. So far, the members of Beer 52 have experienced different beers from 40 different countries. I didn't even know they made beers in 40 different countries. Speaking of didn't know about things, it comes with these 2 magazines. The award-winning Ferment magazine, which is all about different beers throughout the world and the breweries, and this is my favourite. So this is called The Story of Craft Beer. Now, we all know that I absolutely love my history. If you watch my Instagram, I love my history. And in here is all the historic facts about the history of the company, but not only that, about the history of beer. This is actually one of the most interesting things I've read in a very long time. It talks about where beer was created and even talks about the Egyptians. It goes from the simple history of the beer, how it was created, to how it was industrialized, and just so much cool history about beer. Here we have the beer. 8 different types of beer. I'm going to go with the New Zealand IPA. Actually, it sounds a bit dark. I'm more of a lighter guy. And if you just want light beer, you can opt for just light beer or opt for just dark beer. But I think I'm going to go with a lighter one. Don't really know the difference because neither do I. There's actually a chart in here to show the lighter types of beer. So we've got 2 pale ales here from Croatia. Let's crack them both open and see which one I prefer. I think my favourite is definitely the Phantom one. That is like really fruity and it smells delicious. The Beer 52 boxes actually come with different tasting snacks. So I just love like how quirky Beer 52 are. Like the fact they've included this little booklet which even goes into history of how the company was started and where they started drinking the beers and where they've been to. It's so quirky. I absolutely love it. So head over to beer52.com/Lockwood. The link will be on screen now to get your free case of beer. You just need to cover the postage. That's beer, the number 5, the number 2.com/Lockwood. Thank you, Beer 52, for sponsoring this video. I love the idea that you've got there. So good morning, everybody. The weather is horrendous. It's actually pissing it down right now. But I couldn't sleep last night because I was so intrigued and annoyed as to what's wrong with this car. I've been dying to get out all morning. I've been putting it on for a few hours and I'm just going to deal with the rain. Back to the old days, deal with the fucking rain. So we bought this car as the donor car for the Mercedes. This has got a 2.3 supercharged M111 engine in it. Now it's a perfect engine swap for my 190e, as a lot of it shares the similarities to the engine that's already in there, and it already mounts to the gearbox, and they're quite intertwinable cars. The supercharger's not working, so we bought a donor car that's broke. So the supercharger just is not working. I couldn't hear it at all, and I couldn't feel any boost whatsoever. So today we're going to try and figure out why supercharger's not working and try to get it working again. I've been researching the hell out of it last night, and apparently this is very, very, very common. This is a low mileage car, so like, well, it's 70,000 miles. A car from 1998, that's pretty low mileage. So I didn't think we'd be having to deal with any issues like that, but of course it's my channel and we're here dealing with issues like that. First things first, other than obviously I am the realist, ignore this just because the roof isn't working. Copart forgot to mention that, didn't they? Bastards. But let's go underneath here and let me show you the, just put my, close my door. Let's show you this M111 engine. There is the M111 engine. Looking a little bit sorry for itself, but as you can see, still a decent sized engine for a car like this, and it's going to fit perfectly in my Merc. Now, one thing I have noticed straight away, which is why I'm starting off the video doing this before we get into supercharger. The supercharger's down here. Now there's two working bits of the supercharger. You have the clutch down here. Yes, this is the clutched superchargers. The later SLKs, they come with one that's just running all the time. This one, it has a clutch, and the car tells that clutch to kick in at a certain RPM to produce boost. And the next running part is we have a butterfly valve in here. Now this basically acts as somewhat of a wastegate. What you need to do is you need to close the butterfly for it to build boost. So we're gonna have to check these two parts and make sure those parts are working. But first of all, if you can see here, there is a vacuum line here, and I believe it goes to this bit here, which has broke off. So first of all, before I do absolutely anything, I'm going to go and get a vacuum line from Halfords and just pump that vacuum line back in there and make sure that all the vacuum is vacuuming. Okay, so that's one job now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to remove the air box. so we can fully see all the components, and we can actually hear the supercharger as well. So we're going to remove the airbox and we're going to remove this bypass valve here. The two things we're going to be looking at are the butterfly valve and the compressor wheel down here. But I'm going to remove this airbox just so we can see everything, and then we're going to start the car and I'll show you what it should be doing and what it is doing now. And to get this butterfly valve off the airbox, there are two, I believe two, 5mm hex keys. Okay, so with the bypass valve out the way, I think, yeah, but yeah, it's just pushed in to like two little rubber bungs. So let's disconnect this and just get it totally out of the way. There's an air filter in there. Actually looks decent condition as well. That's good, there's an air filter in. So here is the bypass valve for the supercharger, and as you can see, it is powered here. Now I have seen online that a lot of people, their butterfly valve doesn't move, and one of the reasons is because this wiring loom here, as you can see, because when the engine's got a bit of torque on it, apparently this thing pulls on the wires and it breaks the wires, but mine seem okay. Okay, so what's happening with mine is, as you can see, the front pulley there, that is not turning. That's good. A lot of people have issues where the compressor clutch is always engaged, but mine isn't, which is good. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to give it a bit of a rev, and what we should see is when we get like wide open throttle, we should see that compressor clutch spin with the fan. So that is good. So that side of it is working, okay? But the other issue is that when we rev the car, this butterfly valve should close, and that's going to hold the boost and build boost pressure. But with ours, it's doing absolutely nothing. I'm just going to reenact what this butterfly valve should do, and I'm going to see if I can hear the supercharger. So I'm going to put my hand on here and close that, and that's going to build boost, essentially. Okay, it's working. See how it's like blowing off like a blow-off valve? So to me, the supercharger is working fine. I think it's just this is not working. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that off, we're going to turn the car off for a sec, and we're going to test if we're getting power to these. So what this will be is the red will be the power, the brown will be the ground, and the blue one will be like a signal wire to control the flap. So we're going to turn the car on and make sure we're getting a constant feed at the red, and we should be getting a feed at the blue as well. That one might be intermittent depending on when we rev it. So first of all, let's turn the car on and try that red one. On the red one, now it's not the best connection in there, but as you can see, we are getting volts. It's like it's jumping up when I'm moving it about. It's going, so we're going up there. See, there we go at 12. It's jumping around, so it is jumping around. We go 14 volts, so I've got a good connection there, so we're getting voltage there, which is good. So now I'm going to go into the signal wire. Right, there we go. So I'm trying to hold it there. I'm going to rev the car and see if it jumps up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a bit of wire and we're going to send power straight from the battery to this and see if it moves, and that will tell us now if the insides of here are working or if they are not. Okay, so I've wrapped it around and I've got the signal and the positive being powered, and if I touch the negative, it's not flapping any more than that. It's almost like it's struggling to close. So I don't know if that should be closing totally. I have a feeling that should be closing totally, because as soon as I'm giving that power, that should be closing. Right? I think it's time to join the Facebook group. But we do that, we're going to try one more thing which I've read about online, and it's something to do with a K40 relay up here. So we're going to take this off. Under there you've got the main relays in the ECU, and we're going to have a look at a certain circuit board which apparently the solder's crack, and then it causes like no boost issues like this. But what I've heard is that when that happens, that's to do with the clutch, and my clutch is working fine. So, but while we're here, we're going to have a look, and if I don't have a look, the comments are going to be screaming take a look at that. So let's just take a look at that. Let's get this off. So underneath here, this is your K40 relay in here, and apparently the solder's break inside and it doesn't send the correct power to the supercharger. I'm not sure whether that's the clutch or whether that's the, you know, the actual bypass valve which we're struggling with. So we're going to double check it and just get it out of the way. So we need to pull this whole unit out here, and to do that we're going to just take off these connectors, and we maybe have to just wiggle this wiring loom out the way. Well, there you go, that's gone out the way. So these connectors here, we're going to pull them off. Luckily they're all different sizes, so I don't need to mark where they've come from. I can literally just pull them out. Now we're going to need to open this up. I'm going to check a video on YouTube, so I obviously don't want to mess this up, but we need to get this out of the casing, and then we can see the circuit board, and apparently you can see where the solder has cracked. I believe it's on the back of the relay here, but I've got my phone here, so I'm going to check the video, and then when I'm a bit more knowledgeable, then give you the info. So I've got my camera on it here. Do you see this relay? I don't think I get much closer than that. My camera's struggling to focus as it is. You can kind of see how it's like, you can see there's some black around it. It's got hot there. That's where it's got very hot, and it's kind of popped some of the solder. I'd say around 2/3 of it's popped the solder. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-solder that. That's what people do, they re-solder it back together. Whether it's going to fix our issue or not, I don't fully know, but if I leave that, the longer I leave that, the worse it's going to get. And don't forget, we are going to be reusing this ECU, so I'm going to re-solder that. I'm going to nip to the office, get a soldering iron, re-solder that, and then I mean, hopefully it works. But to be honest, I can't see it working, but we need to get it done anyway. Okay, so annoyingly, somebody has lost the solder and the soldering iron in the office, so I'm going to go to Screwfix now and buy another one. And I have had a reply from the one of the guys on the Facebook page, and also a guy who's done the engine stuff before. He said that they can stick. They both said that they can stick, and you need to free it up again, especially if it's not been driven for a while. So, and that would make sense as to when I'm applying power, why it's only wiggling, because it's not got enough power to close the whole thing. Can't believe this. Just bought this thing from your car park. It's got no gas in it. I just popped to ADS Autos, we're good friends with them here, and I have done it again. It's not the prettiest. Yeah, I just borrowed their gas to top up this, and it did actually work. It's not the prettiest solder in the world, but it's a lot better than it is before. So let's go home, get it on the car, and also try to open up the flap. Okay, so back at the car, I've ran some contact cleaner and some WD-40 through here and just trying to loosen it up. I've got that relay back in. The mass sensor is down here. I've took the mass sensor out and just give that a bit of a clean. I'm not too hopeful, but at least I've tried them, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to keep faffing about with this for a little bit and put it on the car. And I'm just going to keep playing about with a few stuff, and then we'll start it up and see if it's made any difference. Guys, I don't know what I've done. One of those three things has worked. I'm a bit annoyed I don't know which one, but watch when I rev. It's working, it's literally working. I don't know what I've done. It could have been that, it could have been cleaning out. I think it's that. I think it's the K40 thing. Like, that doesn't feel any different than what I did before. Like, I don't think so, unless me just constantly freeing up. It could be the cleaner mass sensor, I'm not entirely sure, but whatever I've done is working. And you can tell that by watch this closing. And you can hear the supercharger whining its teeth off. Yes! Yes! Oh, thank God. Right, it's all back together. Let's take it for a spin. I do need to find out how to manually put the roof down or all the way up. Well, all the way up pretty much. I need to find a way how to do that, because I can't drive around with this fucking thing. Now, if I can just put it all the way up, manually latch it, and then take the fuse out, sweet. 3K running. I noticed it suddenly went a bit slower. This has popped off. I forgot to tighten that. So let's go back to HQ, the driveway, and put that back on and go for another drive. coming from 3K, 4K. Woo! Woo! That's gonna be so fun in the 190. Oh yeah! Scandinavian flick, let's try it. Traction control. Oh, mate. We need to get like a different airbox in so it really does the woo, because right now that airbox is just like hiding every noise. I can still hear it a little bit, but the blowing exhaust doesn't help. Oh yeah, we need to, we're definitely gonna get like a smaller pulley on it. And have that whining its tits off. We're probably gonna have, I've seen some people that make the like the foam intake. It's gonna be a little bit difficult just because obviously you've got two holes in that airbox, but we will find a way. Once you've got a smaller pulley in there, added like 40 horsepower or so. Oh mate. So we're gonna end the video here, guys. Thanks for watching, everyone. I love you all. Are you excited to do engine swap on this? I am so excited. It's gonna happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks or so, because I'm going away this weekend. We need to get both cars up to rusty, which might be a bit of a challenge, but we're gonna get there, boys, and get this in the one night. I love you all, and we'll see you in the next one.